What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Carl and Jacquice show.
I'm Carl.
And I'm Jacquice. And on this show, we talk about relationships,
Dating,
and family. And tonight, we're talking about
dating.
See, I don't know about you guys, but I have 2 children at home.
Right.
They're not that small anymore.
There we go. That's true.
They're a little bit older these days. So they're more independent. But they still require a lot of attention. And so much of our time and our daily life is centered and focused around our children that it is important for us to steal these type of moments and get away and just go and spend time with each other and get back to Carl and Jacquice before we had children, before we were responsible for anybody but ourselves.
That's a different type of time. When it's just you and that other person, it's much better. If you think about in our day, even though our children are very mature and smart, they're very smart, they still get into these childish tiffs where they just argue for what we consider the dumbest reasons. And so we end up having to stop, me more so than Jacquice, and try to restore order. And that can be very taxing. It's very hard to get into a romantic mood when you got that going on in the background. So enough of the conversation about the little ones, because this is not about them. Although we love them, they're important to us. You get that point. So
just like any plant or flower that you plant or any food that you plant into the ground, if you don't water it, it won't grow. That's how I feel about relationships and dating. If you're in a relationship with someone and you don't take the time out to actually date them, continue to have conversations with them, intimate conversations about where they are in their life now versus where they were a year ago or 2 years ago, or however many years have passed since you first started dating or since you first met this person. Take the time out to have conversations, go out, get to know each other where you are now, learn something new about your spouse, go do something fun, take your mind off of your regular daily routines, because if you don't, it'll be very easy to just fall into having a lifestyle of just work all the time, and before you know it, you have a business partner but you don't have a romantic partner. Right. You have a roommate but you don't have a husband or a wife.
Talk. Go. That was fire. But absolutely, everything she's saying makes a whole lot of sense. That's why we focus on relationships and dating and family. These are 3 totally separate things that you get with a marriage or a committed relationship. And so they're all important. But they have to be watered and nurtured and taken care of differently.
Okay, so listen, people, all right? Whatever you water, it grows.
Right.
Dating.
Getting back to horticulture. This is what we're doing out here.
Dating is a part of watering your relationship. Okay? You want to revive some life, some oxygen into your situation? Go out and have a cup of ice cream, okay?
Right.
Even share from the same container. This is growth right here. Okay?
Real growth talk. It's happening right now.
Because I've been with him for 17 years.
For 17
but
years.
But he can't use my spoon, and we're not eating from the same container. That's nasty.
We want him to drink from the same cup.
Nope.
You understand? She's like, I think it was 2 years ago that we just started drinking out of the same cup with separate straws. Like, that was growth. It's crazy. But, it is what it is. Like, that's one of those things where you understand that's what her preference is. That's who she is. That's what she does. So you accept it and you move on. You don't make a problem out of it. You don't make a fuss and a fight about it. You don't say, you don't love me. If you really love me, then you wouldn't mind drinking after me or what have you. It's no point in making that argument. If she changes, great. If she doesn't, it doesn't matter. She's still Jacquice. And that's the piece that we got to understand by each other. Be happy with who you are, because they may never ever change. And if you're okay with that, then that's a good road to go down. And then the next level of growth is, what if they change so drastically that they're almost unrecognizable? How much do you love that person to go with them as they change?
So I have a question for you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Why do you think dating is important? Whether you're in a relationship, just dating, whether you're married, or whether you're married with kids, why do you think dating is so important?
Well, dating is really important for many different reasons. And when I say that, I mean depending on the stage of your relationship. So in the beginning of a relationship, dating is extremely important because you're getting to know one another and you enjoy each other's company. After you've been together for a while, dating is your opportunity to have that fun time in the middle of your relationship. So this is your time where you get to hang out or you get to enjoy that time together. That's what that time is for. After you start working a lot, then your time together is your playtime or your happy time. And then when you're married and have children, then your dating time becomes, it's always like your call back to your earth, right?
Right.
It's like
Your quiet place.
Your quiet place or your happy place. Not saying that being with your children isn't a happy place, but it is your happy place. It's your home.
Not to mention, when there's kids involved, it makes it a little more challenging because that is a job.
Facts.
Like, you're working and it's a full-time job. You're always parenting. Sometimes you need to step away from the kids and just get out, you and your spouse, and just be you. Don't worry about who needs to eat. Don't worry about who needs these clothes or that clothes or this instrument or this lesson or that game. Don't worry about any of that. You have to schedule the time for yourself to be able to just do you two, whatever that is. And sometimes, guess what? Sometimes that may be at home. But just because you stay at home doesn't mean that it has to be on some, that your time away from the kids has to be on a sexual situation.
Right.
It can be intimate without being sexual. You can literally put the kids to bed, go in your room, cuddle up, get some candle lights on, have a conversation, dance in your own bedroom, like whatever you want it to be. Sit down and massage each other's feet, like you name it. You can get creative and you can do some things right in your own house. You can play some, play some games. Like it's so many different things that you can do at home. For a long time, before we were able to really get out often because our kids were so small, we had a whole lot of date nights right in our own house.
That's true. We played 21 Questions, which was a great game. What else did we play?
We've been playing 21 Questions since we started dating.
Yeah, I learned that in the car business because when you're waiting for a customer, you get bored. So, like when Candy Crush was popping, only car salesman I knew was at the very top of the level. Like, shout out to Tao. Tao.
Really? We shouting out Tao.
Yo, we got to shout out Tao.
We shouting out Tao right now.
Yo, Tao.
That's not what we do.
Listen, here's the thing.
But what does that have to do with dating?
Oh, what it has to do with dating? It has to do with the fact that
nothing. Let's go with nothing.
I went there for a reason, though.
Okay.
There was some breadcrumbs.
Let the people know. What you go there for?
Well, just walk me backwards.
You gotta do that all by yourself. I'm listening.
That's how you feel?
Yes.
Why has thou forsaken me?
Because you just went there. You went off on a tangent all by yourself. So now you have to come on back. I don't know how to get you back from there.
So basically all I'm saying is that we would play these games together in the house. We would play 21 Questions. We would play cards. We played spades one-on-one. We did a lot of stuff. And we just festered that. Well, fester is kind of an ugly word. We just promoted the relationship and we just worked on it. And we just continued to add on to it. So, but look, I want to say one thing. Is that okay?
Maybe. What's up?
You better stop smiling at me like that. The way this moonlight hitting you right now, when you smiling, a little smirk action, you giving me a little...
What you got to say?
I'm trying to focus. It's hard, though.
What you got to say?
Pause. So listen, dating is important when you're married because the dynamic of your relationship changes. And when you have children, dating is super important because you're no longer my girlfriend or my wife. Now you're somebody's mom. And so being a mom all day long puts you in a certain headspace. And it's not a sexy one. It's not a romantic one.
It's not, especially when you're potty training and breastfeeding and or doing those things at the same time.
Yeah.
Or when you have a child that's having, going through a tantrum stage,
right,
and another child that's going through an attitude change because, they're hitting adolescence. So it's so many levels to this.
Yeah. When you're in that space, you have to be brought back to, I find you attractive. I like your smile. I like the way you walk. I like everything about you. I want to spend time with you without the burp rag, or without the baggage from this conversation you had with your daughter when y'all was about to bump heads, literally. Like, whatever you had going on, let's bring it back to that, because you forget all about the relationship, the courtship.
Right.
But like I said, the dating portion is important because this is why we got together. This is where we found out that we want to spend all this time together. So let's get away from being a nurse or a doctor, or get away from being a mom, or get away from being a pastor, or get away from being a neighbor, or get away from being a brother, or get away from being a father or a mother or a sister or a cousin, and get back to being a girlfriend or a wife or a significant other. You gotta zoom in because we wear many hats as people. And this hat should be the one that we want to put on the most. And we have to remind each other of why that is.
I like how you said that. It should be the hat that you want to put on the most.
Yeah.
Because it's the hat that you should put on the most. But if you want to do it, it's that much better. The most that I would like for you to remember about this whole dating segment, no matter whether you're married or you're courting right now, it's important to you people who are courting, because once you get married, you just have to understand that the courting should not stop because you got married. As a matter of fact, you should make more time for that to happen.
Yeah, talk about that.
So that you don't get complacent in your relationship. You have to keep it interesting. Then when kids get entered into the equation, it just gets that much more difficult. So you have to make the time. You have to make the time to nurture your relationship so that it will continue to grow. Because guess what? Each and every day, each one of you are changing. You are not going to be the same person that you are today, next week, or next year. Like, so many different things has changed within me since I was 18 and I met Carl.
Thanks.
I've been through so many different changes, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, you name it. Several different things have changed over these years. Even spiritually, things are different for me than what it was when I first met him and when we got married. Mm-hmm. So I've gone through several different phases just over the past 17 years. So with that being said, if I can do it, that means that he's going through the same thing. So if he's going through it and I'm going through it, and people are constantly changing and constantly evolving, that means that's somebody new that you have to get to know. And if you don't take the time out to do that, you're going to be lost. You're not going to even know who you're with. So take the time to get to know your spouse. Continue to court them. Continue to shower them with love and admiration. Continue to be present. Nobody wants to be in a relationship with someone who's just literally a roommate. I'm not trying to live that kind of life.
Right.
If I just wanted a roommate, there's some other things that I would be checking off my list. Right. But this is the person that I love. this personality is the one that works well with my personality. Whatever I lack, he doesn't. And whatever he lacks, I don't. And we complement each other. That's how that's supposed to go.
I love it. And I also love the fact that as you change as people, because we're going to change, when you date, you get to know that new person as we change.
Dating is such an important thing in any relationship because that's your opportunity to get to know your spouse. That's your opportunity to find out where they are emotionally, physically, mentally, those intimate things that you may not get to touch base on a regular day because you have this going on and that going on, and you have the kids and you have work and you may have church. Whatever your situation may be, you don't get an opportunity to have those intimate conversations. So that's where dating comes into play, because that's where you set yourself aside from your regular daily activities. You get out of your normal atmosphere and you go and you create that space for you to talk about what's going on with you, not what's going on in the business called our family or at work. That's where you talk about what's going on with you and only you, and you share, and your spouse listens, and you just open up, and it just creates another opportunity for you to bond about things. Growth. That's another way for you to grow your relationship.
Growth talk.
You are so extra.
That was fire. Growth talk. Talk about growth.
There's no F in that word.
That's how you gonna put
There's
me out?
no F in that word.
You gonna put me out? Cause I get.
There's no F in that word.
So growth talk, right? Growth talk.
Yes.
I'm from Brooklyn.
You were there for like 5 years. Stop it.
I was raised in Pine Hills.
Exactly. You're a Florida boy.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember to follow us on Twitter at carlandjacquiceshow. You can also follow us on Instagram at thecarlandjacquiceshow. You can also find us on Facebook, The Carland Jacquice Show. If you have any questions or topics that you want us to talk about, you can email us at askcarlandjacquice@gmail.com, or you can text us at 352-577-CARL.
Remember, guys, God loves you, so love yourself first so that you can effectively love someone else. Be blessed.
Enjoy yourselves.